At the Ukrainian army's main training base, an American-built mock-up village. US instructors observe the exercises.
They called in the tank for extra support to ensure that they have more firepower laid down to protect them better as they're going through the buildings. So they're probably going to go through and do a small little after-action review, just talk about everything that went down and what they had all done.
Everything that happened is registered in these US-supplied devices. The guns used in training are laser imitation weapons. The armor registers hits. The Ukrainians say it makes all the difference.
Before, if we trained with imitation weapons, we had no way of registering hits or misses. Now we know who got hit, when, by whom. This allows us to do much better appraisals of our performance in training.
It's easy to understand why Ukraine fears losing US assistance when you see how it has helped transform the country's military over the course of its war with Russian and Russian-backed forces.
It's a completely different army now, one that's capable of any kind of battlefield operation.
All the same, Ukraine knows it cannot take back the occupied territories by force. In an effort to keep his promise of peace, President Zelensky ordered troops to pull back from the front line at 3 locations. The other side pulled back too. These new trenches are around 3 kilometers from enemy lines, compared to less than 300 meters before.
From the moment of the troop pullback on my stretch of the front line, there has been no active combat.
Some residents of this sprawling mining settlement say they have heard shooting not far off even since the pullback, though there have been no casualties. The town, one of whose 5 districts wound up cut off from the rest on the separatist side, is nervous. Marina Danilkina runs a charity distributing aid to local people.
The withdrawal means the army's positions are now 1 kilometer closer to people's houses. The risk is that if they get shot at, civilian homes get hit.
Marina is preparing the clubhouse for the festive season as best she can. She's deeply wary of Zelensky's strategy.
I can't say what Zelensky is thinking. I just hope that he understands that Russia is the occupier and Putin the aggressor.
You might think everyone in Ukraine sees it that way, but no. On the battered homes of Zolote, the satellite dishes are hard to miss. People here watch Russian TV. Privately, local Ukrainian officials lament a disastrous failure of communications policy, with the result that many here still believe Russian propaganda.
This is all Ukraine's fault. It was Ukraine that went to war with Donbas. Ukraine.
Ella nevertheless believes Ukraine's new president sincerely wants peace, but she doubts it can be achieved. In the meantime, as a local councillor, she's trying to do her bit to keep this town alive.
We had a session in the council about the question of closing the mines. All of us elected councillors are against closing the mines.
Zolote's pits are in crisis. They're connected to a mine on the separatist side, which abruptly closed and stopped pumping water last year, causing this mine to flood. Today, around 500 men still work underground, but mainly just to keep the pumps running.
The lower levels where we were extracting coal are currently underwater. They're flooded.
The company only has just enough pumps to stop the flood getting worse. If they gave up, highly toxic waters could contaminate the whole region.
We worked out a plan to properly secure the site. It got expert approval, but it hasn't yet got financing.
If only they had more pumps, the managers say, they could start extracting coal again and the mine would be at least partly able to pay for itself. In the meantime, miners do maintenance work and are paid only sporadically. But these men, who live very close to the contact line, say at least the troop pullback has been a relief.
I'm fully calm. I'm enjoying actual quiet at home. Just after Zelenskyy's visit, there was a bit of shooting.
A tiny bit, but since then, quiet. Now that it's gone quiet, I'm thinking we have survived the worst of this hell. Multiple times we've saved this mine.
Everyone here says they ardently hope this quiet will last and that the state will invest in coal again. There's no other source of employment in this town and no plan B.